Hi everyone, welcome to the first quarter wine release video for 2017. We're out here in the vineyard today. After several days of rain, things are looking beautiful. There's water everywhere. The grass and the cover crops are green and growing. We have some great wines that we're going to release this quarter, but before we get into the wines, which you can check out in the wine release videos, we're going to talk about what's happening in the vineyard and the winery this time of the year. It's all about pruning, and the crews have been working on our first pass through the vineyard, and if you look behind me, you can see that we've started to do what's called pre-pruning. We actually make 2 passes on most of our vineyards for pruning. The first pass allows the crew to go through and clear out all the brush through the trellis system and make cuts a little higher on the vine than what we normally do. By doing it this way, making 2 passes, the crew has a chance to just go through and clean up all the brush and clean up the vines prior to making their more important decisions in their final pruning cuts. Another reason why we do the pre-pruning is for disease control. We've had an outbreak of some wood-borne funguses and disease over the last several years, and the pre-pruning is a way to combat these problems and fungus and disease from happening to our vines. So it's a great time to be walking around the vineyards. This year, unlike the last few years, everything is so green and our cover crops are growing so beautifully. We use these cover crops to help replenish both organic material and nitrogen into our soils. And we grow a really cool mix of things in our cover crop. And you can see in this small patch of it that we have a couple of different things going on. We have a climbing pea. We have a plant called vetch right in here. And then just some grasses and other natural weeds and stuff that are growing in there as well. The legumes, the peas and the beans and the vetch are all nitrogen fixing plants. So on their roots, they actually fix little nitrogen nodules to them, and they add, it's a very natural way to add nitrogen back into your soil. So these crops will be allowed to grow, and once these beans and peas and vetch start to flower, then we'll start our incorporation of the cover crops into the soil. Our first pass will be to mow it, and then after that we'll run discs and tillers and really mix in all this organic material and nitrogen boosting stuff in the cover crops into our soils. So it's great to see such growth on the cover crops so far this year. All of this has been grown by natural rainwater this year, whereas in the last few years we've had to actually irrigate to help our cover crops to grow. So it's really cool to see that this year. In the winery, we've been busy doing some blending and getting ready to bottle some wines. We have a couple of 2016 vintage wines that are in tank that we blended in the last couple of weeks. We're getting those ready to bottle. Our 2016 Sauvignon Blanc and our 2016 Rosé will be bottled in the next few weeks, and we're really excited about those wines being released later on this spring. The other thing that we're doing in the winery is we're going through all the barrels, tasting them, making sure everything is going well as the wines age and mature. And we're also checking up on their secondary fermentation, something called malolactic fermentation, which happens after the primary or alcoholic fermentation in all of our red wines. And that fermentation converts malic acid to lactic acid and really adds to the texture and the feel of the wines, giving it a rounder, a creamier quality to it. In addition to checking for malolactic, we're testing the barrels. We're starting to do some preliminary tasting and blending of the 2016 wines. Here at Beckmen, we really like to blend our wines as early as possible so that when the wines are finished with their malolactic fermentation, we can start to rack and blend the various cuvées that we create each and every year. The winter might not seem like a great time to come visit a winery, but to me, it's one of the best times of years to come up here. Personally, I love vineyards when they're barren like this. It might be crazy of me to say, but I love the green cover crops, the barren sticks on the vine. And not only that, but it's a little less crowded this time of the year as well. So it's really great for you guys to get a chance to come up, taste wines, visit the tasting room, come get the winery experience without maybe all the crowds that we get coming into later in the year in the spring and the summer. So I hope to catch up with you guys very soon and see you here at the winery.